Hey, what's up everybody? It's Casey here at Zero and Fly and Tackle. Today I'm going to show you how to tie the Bob Jig featuring the Cleardrift Egg Cluster. Alright, so for the Bob Jig, I've taken 1/4 pearl white complete angler jig head and fixed that into the jaws of my Renzetti vise. And for thread on this one, I'm going to use UTC Ultra Thread 140 denier in the color white. We'll take the thread and just lay down a little bit of a base covering the hook shank till about the hook point, maybe just in front of it. Trim that tag. And for a body on this jig, I'm going to use some Hareline medium UV polar chenille in just UV pearl. We'll tie that in at the end of our thread, just in front of the hook point there. Secure that in nice and tight. Throw a little half hitch in there. And we'll just palmer that up the hook shank. Tie off that material there. And now for the money maker on this jig. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a Cleardrift cluster. This is a size large in the color Fire Cherry. And to that, or with that, I'm going to take some heavy clear monofilament. And all I'm going to do is I'm just going to hit the end of this line with a lighter and just build up a little bit of a ball of melted line on the end there. We don't want it to drip down if we can help it. And then all I do is I just mash it flat on the side of my lighter. And by doing that, it just acts as a little bit of a stopper to prevent that from sliding off the end. And to get that cluster onto the line, all I do is I just cut with my scissors. I'll use a heavier pair of scissors on an angle, and that just creates a little spear point to help poke it through. So all I'll do is just take it sideways here, push it through one end, grab the other end there. We're going to slide it most of the way up, and I'm going to take some Zap-A-Gap glue, and I'm just going to add a little bit of that zap onto the line there, just to help secure that in place. Now I'll hold that just with me pulling that line back a little bit there, just to glue everything in place for a few seconds, just to hold it so it seats on the line the way that I like. Alright, so now that the glue is dried, all I'm going to do is tie that mono on to the side of the hook shank there. And we're going to wrap the heck out of this, trying to keep that in place. And we're going to glue it down there as well too. Trim off the end of that mono. If you're using your really fine scissors, you'll probably bend them. So use a pair of at least all-purpose scissors, or even if you've got like a cheap pair of like braid scissors or something like that. If you're using your really nice tying scissors, chances are after a couple of these you're going to be coming to the shop for a new set. Not that that's a bad thing for us, but help you out there with that one a little bit. So I've got that lashed down nice and tight, nice and secure. I'm going to take that Zap-A-Gap again, and I'm just going to apply some of that over that mono and those thread wraps to really lock everything in place. Now, at the front of this jig, for a little bit of movement and some wiggle factor, I'm going to throw in some Hareline Crosscut Rabbit in white. We'll just expose a little bit of the hide there, clean it up a little bit for a tie-in point, and we'll tie that in right in front of that cluster. And with that, we're just going to do a single wrap. And tie that off right behind the jig head. Trim that off. Whip in a head, or not that you're going to see much of one, but just to secure everything at the front. And we'll do a whip finish and a second whip finish. And there we have the Bob Jig with the Cleardrift Cluster. So this you can fish just like any float fishing jig. Obviously, again, you can play with your colors. This is kind of your classic, white head, white body, with a variety of different color of clusters. I really like that hot cherry. BC orange is a good one. I mean, you can't really go wrong. Pick your favorite, really, and throw them out there. With this, we've tied it far enough forward on the hook that we can add bait if we like. If you really want to get weird, you can even still slide a wormtail on there and then really show them something different. Pro tip, don't tell me I didn't give you guys any secrets, but that can be a very effective one. Throw a little bit of scent on there. If you're not going to add bait or anything to that, some Procure water-based scent in like sand shrimp, for example, is an excellent selection. And yeah, pitch it out there and see what happens. It can be a pretty cool take with one of these. So like always, have all the links for all the materials posted below. Hit that like button for me. Subscribe to us on YouTube if you haven't already. If you got any questions, you can reach out to us at the shop via email, through DM on all our social media, and most importantly, come check us out online, www.c-run.com. Thanks for watching, everybody.